السلام عليكم. ايوه خلينا بس السلام عليكم. مساء الخير. Welcome back again. السلام عليكم everybody. السلام عليكم. Welcome back to another session of ETC Talks. I'm so pleased today to be with you and to have the chance to introduce our guest speaker for today's ETC talk. Before we begin, please do note that this session is recorded and questions may be raised after the discussion. Today's guest speaker is currently the Smart City Development Manager in National Energy Center. She worked also as a member of the National Program for Artificial Intelligence and Advanced Technologies and a Senior Executive Digital Transformation in the e-Transformation team in Ministry of Transport, Communications and IT. As she was also the Director of Building Capacity and Awareness in Smart City Platform and lead the Smart Cities and Governorates in 2021. She participated as a speaker in many conferences and seminars in Oman and overseas, and she is also leading national projects in Oman like Oman Smart Cities Project, Government Innovations in Emerging Technologies in Oman, and other projects related to digital transformation and smart cities. She is the founder of a Smart City Ambassadors Initiative that has been awarded by ITU Innovation Challenge winning ideas from the Ecosystem Best Practice Challenge category in 2020 and the initiator of a Smart Omanuna. She is also a member of the Organizational Change Committee in MTC IT and led change management activities on the digital transformation program besides supporting the government entities to adapt the required changes to meet their digital transformation objectives and organization culture change towards the digitalization and established the first COP in change management in Oman. In addition, she is a member of different committees in Oman and overseas, as well as in the United Nations Standards Evaluation Internal Committee and the UNESCO ICT program in Beirut. And also a government fellowship, UNU eGov, that has a current collaboration with international organizations like ITU and UNI eGov to document Oman's experience in Smart City Ambassadors as a global best practice. Without further ado, please join me to welcome Mrs. Leila Al-Hadrami. Ms. Leila?
Thank you so much, Mahfouza, for your welcoming, and it's really my pleasure today to join all of you. And it's really a pleasure to speak about my favorite topic, smart cities. I really tried my best to make this topic today to not be a little bit technical, so we can make it clear, because I know you have also students who are really interested to attend this session. So let me share first the screen with you. Can you see my screen, Mahfouza? Mahfouza, can you hear me?
Yes, Ms. Leila.
Can you see my screen now?
Yes, we can see it.
So you can see the slides.
Yes, we can see it. Go ahead.
Okay, perfectly. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Today I'm going to speak about Oman Smart Cities Development and why I choose this topic, because everyone is speaking about smart cities and how it really started in Oman. So let me take you in this journey. And I'm really sorry for my voice today, but I hope that it's going to be clear with all of you. So when it comes to smart cities, this is my first question that I ask everyone. What is a smart city? Is it like a fancy story about smart cities? It is in the moon, Mars, and so on. Actually, it is, a basics, definition. It is your city. But you have to improve, the quality of life in your city. So there's different definitions, you might find it. So basically, most of the people, they connect the ICT sector with the smart cities. But for me, it's always, important to guarantee that we have the basic sectors. For example, do I have, but before, answering this question, let me take you to the next slide. Let me take you first to the story of smart cities, how we started with the smart cities. Because the concept of smart cities, before we start talking about smart cities, we have to speak about the mega cities. Because the mega cities, are the cities that is with more than 10 million population in these cities. So imagine cities like Tokyo, Japan, which is, the hugest population in the world. It has a population of 37 million. I think it's now more than 37 population. So imagine this huge population in one city. That will definitely result with what? It will definitely result with some challenges. So in order to overcome these challenges, we're going to have some, challenges. So we have to understand, is our city a mega city? Okay, if it's not a mega city, do we have some current challenges? For example, Muscat is not considered as a mega city, but nowadays, all the cities around the world, they want to improve their cities to be smart city before they are reaching that stage of a mega city. So you have to understand your city. Is it a political, as for example, is the capital city or not? There is a legal system on it or not? Is it a military city? What about the economic system, the social, the infrastructure, information? So you have to do analysis of your current city. What are the challenges? You might have challenges, for example, in traffic, pollution. You might have in the environment. You might have, the noise and so on. So you have to ask that question. What are the challenges of my city? Ask your question. What are the challenges here in Muscat? I'm sure each one of you will have one challenge in your mind. You can share it later on at the end of this session so we can speak more about it if there is, enough time. So why smart cities for Oman? Definitely we need, smart cities in Oman for different goals. First, to improve quality of life. And when I said why, what is a smart city? The basic thing about smart cities is to improve quality of life. I am as a citizen, do I have all the services in my mobile, for example, in my device, or I have to drive, for example, around 1 hour to 2 hours in order to get that service. So for me, the quality of life to get all the services that I need, the hospitals are nearby, the education, the basic services, and so on, the transportation. And the most important thing is the security. Do I feel secure in my own city? And definitely also to develop innovative solutions to city challenges. So how can we improve the quality of life? That will be definitely by providing some smart solution, and that will definitely help to cut the cost and increase revenue and achieve sustainability. And when I say achieve sustainability, will you be, having that, vision that I need to live in this city all my life, or you are planning to move from your city? If you are thinking to move from your city, that means that your city is not providing the quality of life that you are seeking for. And definitely, we need also smart cities for Oman so we can also enhance the international reputation. Every country, they want to improve their ranking when it comes to that. So they want to lead their cities to be, a model for the others. And that's what we are trying to do at Oman. We need to be, among the top cities around the world. So when it comes to this, how we started, the smart city development, even my story, it started in 2017 with the smart city platform. As Mahfouza introduced me, I started with the first phase of smart city platform. And when I say it is the first phase, we started as a bottom-up approach because at that time, it started as a small program from the Research Council. The godfather, I'm always call him the godfather, Dr. Ali Shidani, who's today the Undersecretary of the ICT sector in Ministry of Transportation, Communication and IT sector. So he thought about how can we, reinforce the vision of smart cities. How can we let everyone speak about smart cities? So we decided to increase, to focus mostly with the knowledge base. So it was a knowledge-based platform. That is what it was, a bottom-up approach. And we succeed in the second phase to lead the smart city platform to become a national project, which is, having a good attention from the, Oman 2040 vision. So this is the current vision of the smart city platform. So what we have done exactly in the first phase, it was just mostly as awareness, capacity building, research innovation. It was mostly with the academics. We were trying to, encourage them so they can, have some research with the smart cities and smart solutions. And we also tried to seek the public-private collaboration so we can have, some companies that can implement some smart solutions or give consultancy at the first phase. What we have achieved so far in the first phase of Smart City Platform, we have 3 hackathons. It was in 3 cities, Muscat, Suhar, and Salalah. And we have also, as I said in the research, around 131 research proposals, and I consider that a big number for us. And we got 6 granted researches. And also we have launched the Smart City Ambassadors that also get awarded as Best Innovation Capacity Award in IT Innovation Award last year, 2020. And we have also conducted as a capacity building more than 50 workshops with more than 3,500 participants who attended these workshops. And in COVID-19, I'm really so much proud to say that we were the first one who conduct that competition. So we can, encourage, people to come with smart solution as an app. So these apps were, then later on, we choose 3 winning apps. These apps, later on, we tried to link them with Minister of Health so they can work with them closely with the Tarasud and eMushrik. And we have also launched our first Smart Cities conference, and that was one of the successful, conferences in Oman in smart cities. So that was, as the basic achievements that we did in the first phase. So when it comes to the second phase, everyone is asking about the second phase. As I say, the second phase is, we intended to be like a bottom approach. So it's led by different sectors, because the smart city project, if you go around the world, everywhere, it's not about one sector leading that vision of smart cities. It's about the integration of all the sectors. So when it comes to Oman, the good news that in Oman, that last year we have launched a special strategy plan by Minister of Housing and Urban Planning. And based on that, the Ministry of MTCIT is now, the technology partner who's going to implement the smart solution and the emerging technologies. And they are doing really great with that. I was actually part of this team before resigning. So I just joined recently the National Energy Center. But at that time, we have the AI program, National Center, that, they can, follow up the implementation of smart solutions in different sectors around Oman. And when it comes to the governance and cities, it is led by Ministry of Interior and with 3 independent governance, which are Muscat, Musandam, and Dhofar. So basically, these are the main sectors, and definitely these sectors are going to work closely with the different sectors in Oman, whether it is the health sector, environment, education, and so on. So this is exactly the second phase where we have reached so far in Oman. If we are going to speak about the project players, there are 5 main stakeholders: the government sector, the private, academia, SMEs, and individuals. So when it comes to the government, we will definitely need the government support in smart cities, because they are the one who are going to work in the policies, regulations, frameworks, and governance with the cities and so on. And when it comes to the government, because I'm always saying that laws and regulation can be changed. It's not like a holy Bible and so or Quran, so we can say we cannot change the policies, because with the emerging technology and the development, we have to keep changing and updating our policies so we can accelerate, the process of smart cities. And when it comes to the private, and I'm highlighting this, why I'm highlighting this, because I'm going to focus more on this as I'm now representing the, National Energy Center, so I can speak about our journey, how we are, playing with smart cities projects, because mostly the private sector are always, considered as the heroes who are going to fund and implement the smart city projects. Based on them, we can succeed the smart city projects. And definitely, you, the academia who are attending here today, we will definitely need your sustainable development through the research and innovation, because with you, you are the one who are thinking, you are, the one who are thinking and do the analysis and say, we should do this and we should have this. And when it comes to the SMEs, we are trying to empower the SMEs so we can also create some, new jobs, because when it comes to the smart cities, because of the new solutions, we are also providing new jobs for employees. And when I say individuals, they are the main players. Why they are the main players? Because finally, they are the one who are going to use all the services of smart cities. They are the one who are going to live in that city. They are the one who are going to say, I'm happy or not happy, I'm feeling secure or not secure, or I'm staying in my city or living. So we have to take care of the individuals, because this will be the success of smart cities. So this is also was the smart cities development as a focus area at Oman level, which is governance. Because when I say the governance, it's very important that every country, they have to focus on the governance, because as I said, there's regulation policies that we might need to change it. For example, let me share with you some updates. For example, when it comes to the governance, sometimes we have, for example, new IoT sensors, so we need to get updates from the government or new policies, so we can implement it without any duplications here in Oman. And when it comes to the indicators, why we need indicators, it is similar. When you are working on the university, you have to assess your students in order to guarantee that they are doing great. We do the same for the cities. We have to assess our cities so we can make sure there is a progress. And why we need global collaboration, so we can learn from them. And one of the good stories that I could share here is about China experience in smart cities, because they started their smart city with the urban planning, and similar what we are now having in Oman, we launched our urban planning. So we are now starting our smart city, because if you go around the world, you cannot start smart city project without the base, which is the urban planning strategy. And when it comes to the empowering cities, it's very important, that we have to support the governors, because they might need support. For example, in the building capacity, they might need support when it comes to the smart solutions. They might need support in the consultancy in smart cities, how they can do it, and support also how can they use the funding model so they can attract more investors to their cities to improve it to be a smart city. And we will definitely need smart initiatives and pilot projects so it can be leading projects in Oman, because if we succeed to have smart initiatives or pilot projects, that will, as I said, transfer it to the other cities. And I can speak more about the pilot projects in the next slides as, our journey in National Energy Center. And when it comes to the funding models, believe me, it is everywhere, not just in Oman. The governments always feel that, the technology is so much expensive and they are not ready to pay for technology. So we have to find solutions. We have to let the private sector to find models so they can, collaborate with the government. So they propose with a funding model with the government so they can, lead the smart city projects. So that is, the focus areas of the smart city development that can be here implemented in Oman and also around the world. So I have already speak about these goals, but I will take you mostly. So this is about the index. So when it comes to the indicators about smart ecosystem, smart people, smart living. I'm sorry, I feel a little bit, my voice is, I'm losing it, so I have to drink water. So the global collaboration, as I said, that we need to learn the best practices around the world and so on. And as I said, mentioning China. So let me take you now to the journey of National Energy Center, because I said let me focus here when it comes to the pilot projects and the funding models, so you can also know more about it, how we are starting the smart city development. So NEC is it's a semi-government and established, in 2015. And I'm really so much proud to say that the Smart City Development Department, it has been just launched recently, and I'm the first one to lead this department. And why they are, launching this department? Because there is expansion in their current projects. They started with a small dream, and now we are going with a bigger dream as a semi-government. So when it comes to the National Energy Center, their story started with the smart metering, and they started their first project in Musandam with water smart metering. If you go to your homes, check your meters. Is it smart one or is it manual one? If it's smart, so then it is was implemented mostly by National Energy Center. And why we need this smart metering, I will talk more about it, but our vision is to be, the leading smart platform solutions in Oman by 2020, with, leading different smart city projects in different cities with different organizations. So here's the smart transformation journey. I love this, journey, because it's really amazing how we started. So we started first. We said if you want to to be unique in the business, because although we are like started as a service provider in electricity, we said we need to be unique and different than the others. So I'm really so much happy to say that National Energy Center was the first one who brought the smart technology and about the IoT sensors here in Oman by using the smart metering in water and energy. So that was, and we also started gathering data with around 3,000, 300,000 devices here in Oman. And this is, not just in Oman, it's also the first use case at the Middle East in one project. And we are going, inshallah, to expand that number with the next projects. Hopefully, we can update that number soon with all of you. So we gather the data each 15 minutes. So these data, when we gather it, it goes to our connectivity management as we, using some device connectivity management. And when it comes to the connectivity, everyone is asking how you are gathering your data. Are we using our own Wi-Fi? Is it the same Wi-Fi that you are using it for your platforms? Definitely, we cannot use the same Wi-Fi because we have to use a secured one. So we use our own connectivity, which is LoRa. And when it comes to LoRa, we are the first one who brought LoRa connectivity to Oman in collaboration with Ooredoo in 2018, because we cannot, start, the project without the infrastructure, because it is useless to have IoT sensors and you don't have the connectivity. So that was one of our biggest achievements to implement the connectivity infrastructure with Ooredoo. Because if you heard about somebody is saying, oh, okay, we are using IoT sensors, but ask them which connectivity you are using, because if they are not using connectivity, it means their sensors are not integrated, with the dashboard and with the data management. And when it comes to the cloud hosting, hosting, we are hosting with different platforms here in Oman, so we can guarantee that all our data is saved there with our local partners. And this is, because everyone now is going to the cloud, nobody's using their own servers. Why? Because we, host the data, then it will be easy for us to transfer the cloud to our partners as soon as we, finalize the project and in the final execution levels. And what we make it really unique about the smart transformation journey in NEC, we have our own data management. And when we say we have our own data management, because some companies they will say, okay, we have some partners who are managing our data management, but we do it here internally. So we do it internally, and we provide also the integration with all our systems. So if anyone from our partners, they say, we need to integrate, for example, the system that you have now for the IoT with our payment, that will be so much flexible for us, because everything we do it in our in-house. And the best part about that is our dashboards. we provide a dashboards that we use on it, the big data and the machine learning, so they can, all our partners, they can follow up what is happening, with their project in that dashboard. It's very easy and it's also flexible, so they can monitor what is really going on and read their data frequently. So that is the transformation journey for NEC. So when it comes to NEC business model, as I said, we started with a very basic dream. We started to focus with the smart utilities infrastructure, because when I say smart utilities infrastructure, it is the basic services that all of us we needed. Because I'm sure each one of you will take care mostly about the the energy metering, the water services meters, and also the gas. This is one of the utilities that we are also planning to improve it, inshallah, for the next month. So these were some of the basic of smart solutions that we started, but now we are going bigger than that one, because everyone is saying, where are you going? So this is our NEC business model. We are going to focus mostly with the smart energy. We are also now expanding our solutions with the smart lighting, and we already started that with signing some of our POCs with our partners in BDO, Madain, and I will share with you that soon. So as I said, it's expanding, no more just for the smart utilities, with more smart solutions. And every time we are trying to be creative, innovative, we just think about it. We don't go just to our office reading our emails and do the routine thing. No, we go to our office. We always ask that question: what is next? How can we be unique in the market? How can we provide smart solutions? How can we lead Oman? So when we think bigger, how can we lead Oman? We will be more creative. So that is why we created our business model, so it can cover most of the smart solutions around Oman in different cities, different organizations. So you can see it's focusing in all the sectors: some smart governance, smart mobility, smart buildings, and smart water. So we try to connect the buildings and the infrastructure, and definitely with the cities around Oman. When I speak about our live dashboard, so this is like a sample of our dashboard that where our clients can see it immediately, and we have different clients now who can see the dashboard, and they can follow up what is really happening around. And in our dashboard, sometimes, we are trying to integrate different systems. For example, they might have the smart metering, smart electricity, and smart lighting, or any other solutions that we are providing for this organization. As collaboration, we have signed so far 4 different MOUs and agreements. I'm really so much proud to say that NEC is the first company in Oman that signed MOU with MTCIT to lead smart city projects. And we did recently with the BDO, and yesterday we did it with Madain, so we can also manage some of their smart solutions and improve their, the efficiency of their project to be a smart city here in Muscat, Madain. And the good news that we are not just here in Oman. We are expanding, and we are going now to the Gulf countries, and we also have signed agreement with the Electricity and Water Authority in Bahrain. And the good news, there is more countries are joining soon. So we're gonna share that inshallah soon about the coming countries that we are going to sign with them. So our dream and vision is not just here in Oman, we are going to globally. So we can also lead Oman, that we are having these solutions first started in Oman, and now we are going to implement it in different countries. So when it comes, this was the photo of agreement with Electricity and Water Authority in the Kingdom of Bahrain, and the focus will be on the smart energy metering and smart water metering. This is the MOU with the Minister of MTCIT. The idea was to implement 5 different projects in 5 different solutions. So one of them, it will be in smart environment solutions, and we are going to implement that solutions in Duqm, inshallah. And in Duqm also, we are going to have our own IoT live lab. It will be the first from its kind here in the region, so we can have all the our different solutions on this land. I'm going to share maybe more about this IoT lab in another presentation for me at the end of this month, and I'm going to share it soon, inshallah, with all of you. One of the also projects that we have also signed with NTCIT is the non-revenue water management. I'm sure most of you, you know, how many times you have, you know, drive in the streets and you see the water flooded there everywhere. And this issue is not just here in Oman, it's everywhere around the world. It's very critical because we are losing, you know, millions, and we say millions because per day. And we did a pilot project in Al Ansab when it comes to the non-revenue water management. And we are, you know, the first to implement such a project with non-revenue water management, because when we say non-revenue water management, it's about the water that we cannot see. It is the underground. So we have allocated some sensors so we can know immediately where's the leakage exactly, so we can send the emergency so they can go and, you know, fix the issue there. And smart street lighting solutions, we are going to implement it with Madain, inshallah, BDO, and some coming partners soon. And smart energy and water metering solutions, these are one of the top solutions that we are trying to provide in most of our projects here in Oman. And as I said, globally. Okay, so this is also our recent MOC with BDO, and we are going to work with smart lighting, smart environment and irrigation, and also the water management and revenue water management. And this is we celebrated actually Women's Day by signing MOC with Madain. So we can also implement some smart solutions with the smart lighting and also smart building, because now the Madain are expanding in knowledge OSIS area. So in order, if they are going to expand with their buildings, they will definitely need a system to monitor all their buildings. So this is one of the solutions that we are going to provide for Madain, and hopefully we will start soon, inshallah, with them with a project plan and executing it soon. Okay, so that was about the MOUs, and one of the things that I need really to share with you about National Energy Center, the smart manufacturing platform, ECTRON. Maybe the story of National Energy Center started also with this, factory, because if we are going to expand with our, smart metering, smart IoT sensors, we definitely need to have then finally our own factory. It will be the first from its kind, not just in Oman, but also in Gulf country and Arab countries. So we're going to have our own, factory, and it is part of, IoT lab in Tanfid. There's a big attention from the, top ministers to follow up about this factory, because the capacity of this factory is going to produce around 12,000 smart metering for each month. So you can see, this is the basic design of our factory. The first one in the left, you can see as I'm pointing with my scroll, the factory will be here and the warehouse will be at that side, so we can store our smart metering that we are going to use. We are going to use robots. So this will be like the first factory in technology that will use robots to produce these smart technologies. We're going to have like phase 1, and we're going to have also phase 2. With each phase, we're going to have our own robots who are going to follow up the execution of these smart metering. The warehouse of the factory can store around, accommodate more than 150,000 units of energy meter, and it is meeting the international requirements, so we can also export our smart metering to the Gulf countries, not just for Oman. So that, as I said, we are always thinking to go bigger than what we are here in Oman. We also trained around 25, when it comes to the factory, everyone, they say, okay, how you are going to start on it? We are trying to empower our Omani employees. So we recruited 25 young Omanis and we sent them abroad for training. They stayed there. Some of them, they stayed for 2 months, and some of them, they stayed for 4 months. So they, were trained to how they can do the configuration with these IoT sensors. So they get a very incentive training to be able to deal with these, sensors. So hopefully, inshallah, that the factory will start soon. So our employees will start also working immediately in that factory. So it can be one of the most successful achievements, not just at NEC level, but also at Oman level, led by Omani employees. And these one of our projects are, we are not just going for the IoT sensors. Our vision is going bigger than that. So we, as I said, we're gonna have robots. So some of these employees, we're gonna, learn how to do the configuration with the robots, because when it comes to the configuration, we need to then transfer the data to our own live dashboards. So that's basically the journey of National Energy Center, and more to come, inshallah, when it comes to the smart solutions, because as I said, it's not just here. We are going further and further with smart cities. So that is basically about my presentation today. I decided to make it, simple and very easy to understand it, so we can have more questions if you have to discuss it. So thank you so much. And you can reach me anytime if you have any requirements about, smart city projects or the smart solution that we are working on it. And I can share the presentation, inshallah, later on with Mahfouza and the team in HCT, inshallah. So back to you, Mahfouza, if there's any questions.
Yeah, now the floor is open for questions and answers. You may raise your hand or type in the chat box, or if you can unmute yourselves for the questions. Anyway, the presentation will be also available in the ETC channel in the web page. Let us see if anybody. Yep. You can unmute yourself. Who's this? Abdul Wahid, Mr. Abdul Wahid. Mr. Abdul Wahid. You may unmute yourself. Let us see how we can allow everybody.
Maybe they cannot unmute themselves.
Yeah.
They don't have the access.
Okay, can you try now? Mr. Abdul Wahid.
I think we are able to unmute ourselves now.
Yeah.
Maybe you can try.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can try. Mr. Abdul Wahid. It's already enabled. Anyone else?
Yeah, maybe I can float my question.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Layla, actually, for the insightful and informative presentation. It's really fruitful. And my question regarding, you have mentioned about the smart metering, water smart metering in Musandam. I think I don't know if you can just explain further, because just you mentioned that you have replaced the metering part actually, and so the connectivity part is there. I mean, it's been integrated with the platform or the gateway, whatever IoT gateway. So then what else? What will be this? It's integrated with the smart grid. Actually, we don't have smart grid, for example, in Oman. So what is the, I mean, how we are going to use this knowledge, I mean, to convert it into a decision?
Okay, that's really
I mean, what is the value proposition actually for the replacement? Basically, smart city, as we know all, it's not just a technology showcase. So we have to turn out into a valuable decisions. So it's been, I mean, integrated with this smart grid, I mean, to reduce the energy, for example, production, consumption. I mean, to have a smart, I mean, overall smart energy solution as well. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for raising that question. And I feel sorry, there's one slide I should put it here, but I haven't, included. We have actually two kind of projects here in National Energy Center and two different dashboards. The first one is AMR, which is automated manual metering, and the other one is the manual metering dashboard. So it can give us, differences between the two dashboards, because the first one is the smart metering and the other one is the smart metering, the manual metering. So everyone is asking question, okay, what's going to be the added value? Let me first say, when it comes to the electricity bills or the water bills, there's always issues about it. For example, sometimes people are complaining they are traveling outside Oman, right? So when they return back, they found out that their bill is almost similar like the last month. Why? Because with the manual metering, if the guy, because some houses they have the manual metering inside the house, so the guy who's going to read the manual metering, he has to go inside the house in order to provide the data for the companies who are providing the bills for the electricity or the water. In case he found the locked door, which is one of the challenges when it comes to the manual metering, they will do what? They will do prediction for your consumption. They'll say, okay, his consumption for the last 3 months was like this, so we'll put this average for him for that month. That's what make people not happy, not satisfied, and complaining. So when it comes to when I see the quality of life, people are expecting, to pay for the service that they are paying for it. You are not at your home and you are paying extra bill for that month. Or sometimes people are outside for different months. And sometimes when it comes to the sensors, it helps us also to, monitor where is the consumption of the electricity. Because sometimes, some people, they will say, my parents are only, working on this, are living in this house. Why the consumption is very high. So when we started to investigate, with some cases and so on, we found out, for example, that the electricity unit line was used by the other house and so on. So if you are going to have your smart metering, you as also, a customer, you're gonna see your consumptions, because if you see something not normal, you can immediately report for that. You say there's something wrong happening. This is not my consumptions. So we're gonna, you as a citizen, you will first also save your rights. So you will see it's not your consumption and you get your own rights. And as I said, with the manual metering, there's a lot of different challenges. So the locked doors, for example, you have to send somebody to go there and read about the data and so on. And hopefully, inshallah, next time I can provide with you the dashboard of these two systems so you can know exactly. And when it comes to the smart grid, this is one of the projects that we need to implement, inshallah, soon with Madain. And hopefully we can talk more about it, because as we say, Diani, whenever we go smarter, we're going to cut costs and improve the efficiency in our smart solutions. I hope that I have answered your question.
Understood. So I understand that currently, I mean, what you are having a smart metering, which provide a real-time reading or data into your platform. So it can be, I mean, everyone can demonstrate his reading as well. But what was my, question? Do you have a plan actually to take it further? I mean, because basically, we need to convert or turn out all these, which is valuable data as well, either smart metering for KWH or water or gas or whatever, all other utilities. Because when we talk basically about smart, mainly about integration and connectivity as well, yeah, there should be a platform or a level of or layer just to work as a brain to take an insightful decision actually based on the collected data. I have done
الأول مال 2011
Okay. Okay, Abdulrahman, I really get your point. As I said, we have like different dashboards for each project. We have our own dashboard, so there's a lot of data. And when it comes to the
Fantastic.
there's there's like machine learning because we are using, because the more data you are getting, because we are reading also our smart metering every 15 minutes. So imagine every 15 minutes we are getting data. So definitely these data, whenever we have more data, that will help us to do more analysis, so we can use the artificial intelligence to take decisions. And
There is
basically,
no doubt. Yeah, there is no doubt. Yeah.
yeah, so this is definitely is our direction is to expand on this, and because everyone is because sometimes some companies they will just speak about IoT as a solution, but they don't speak about the system integration. So this is alhamdulillah what we are trying to do. And when I
So you
mentioned
have,
also the
yeah.
non-revenue management, Abdurrahman, there where we calculated how much we are going to save, because I have some figures here. For example, here when it comes to the non-revenue, there should be one slide, but I reduced many slides because of the time and so on. We implemented this project in Al Ansab, and it's the first kind from its type here in Oman and Middle East. Because when it comes to the non-revenue water, as I said, every time you are driving, we just call the emergency. There is a water flooding. Please come and fix it. Because we really feel sorry that we are wasting such a nature of the water to go like that. And this is a critical everywhere. So we did that project with the PwC, so we can calculate. And when I say calculate, because you asked that question, can we calculate how much we are saving? I will tell you exactly how many we have saved. When it was just in Al Ansab area. You know how much we saved per day? Around 3,000 Omani Riyal. And if you are going to calculate it for a year, it's more than 1 million yen. So imagine this price just for Al Ansab. So what if we can, implement such solutions for all Oman? And because we have different sensors, allocated underground, very close from the pipes and so on, the pressure, so we can see where's the leakage exactly. And based on that, we calculated the data, so we can, have estimated, leakage data that we are losing, and based on that, we have, get the revenue that we are losing, and how much we're gonna save if we are going to implement this solution. So we, alhamdulillah, because of that project that we have implemented in Ansab, some companies started, approaching us because they are losing a lot of money because of that issue. So this is how can we show that we are, getting some benefit of these technologies. Because as I say, people, they say technology is expensive, but if we are going to show them how we are going to save, that will encourage them to implement these solutions.
Thank you.
We have another question from Dr. Ghana. Dr. Ghana, you may unmute yourself as well. Dr. Ghanshyam. Dr. Ghanshyam. Or Mr. Abdul Wahid.
Abdul Wahid, long time he wanted to speak.
Yeah. Mr. Abdul Wahid.
Okay, I can see Salima is also raising her hand.
Yeah, maybe Salima. We cannot hear you, Mr. Abdul Wahid. Yeah, okay, we'll go to Salima now.
Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Yes, can you?
Okay, so Ms. Leila, thank you very much for the presentation, and thank you very much for the efforts you and friends are putting. I want to ask a question about the data you are collecting. Yani as an academy, let's call us a researcher, and we are desperately looking for an open data sources, like a database. Okay, so is your data will be like an available database for researchers or academia?
This is the most difficult question everyone is asking us, because the only challenge that, we have partners. For example, when it comes to the non-revenue, there is one partner. When it comes to the smart metering, there is another partner. So somehow it's a little bit confidential with our partners. So we might need to take some approvals from them in order to share these data. But one of the things that we are trying here to solve in National Energy Center is to do something really for the academics, because it's always raised as not just as a question, but everyone really in order to succeed in their project, they want such data and so on. So we will try our best, inshallah. I cannot promise you, but we will do our best, inshallah. So we can think at least about some projects that we can get approval from our partners, so we can provide it as open data for the academia, inshallah. I will work.
Yes, please. Because honestly speaking, we are kind of interested in applying some of the our knowledge and research base in consumer behavior more oriented research. It's very important, to study the consumer behavior. Also, it's not the at an upper stage with the operation efficiency. We need also to focus on public behavior also.
Totally agree with you, and wish me luck so I can try, because I was in the government and we were speaking about the same concern, but now I'm coming to the private with them, and they told me there is some confidentiality with their partners and some agreements, but I will try to find an exit so we can at least have at least one project, so we can open it for the academia, so they can do the analysis, because definitely we will need such cases, and because we also need to show our projects how we are getting the value of these smart solutions, as Abdurrahman raised it. So I will discuss that inshallah internally, and if we can find a way, definitely I'm going to share it with all of you, inshallah.
Yes, thank you very much for your time.
My pleasure.
Thanks again, and we may go to Mr. Abdul Wahid again. Yes, Mr. Abdul Wahid. Can you hear us?
To be Wahid as well.
Or Dr. Ghania, Dr. Ghanishiam, if I pronounce it well. Unfortunately, he cannot hear us, maybe.
Maybe you can try, Mahfouba, to unmute them yourself.
Yeah, I'm trying. In fact, everybody is allowed now.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah. So you can unmute yourselves. I don't know, maybe he has some technical issue, or you may type it in the chat. Mr. Abdul Wahid. I even put you as a presenter, Mr. Abdul Wahid, to be able to raise your question.
Maybe he get the answer of his question through the different.
Yeah, of course. It was very informative. The presentation itself, as well as the questions and the answers. So
you academia are not asking an easy question, so I hope that I was able to answer your questions, which means work internally so we can find a way to provide the data, inshallah.
Inshallah. What about Dr. Ghania? Dr. Ghanishiam? We still have some time till the end of the session. I don't know if anyone else is interested to ask any questions. Mr. Albert?
Yes, ma'am. Can I speak?
Yes, of course.
Thank you, Ms. Laila, for a wonderful presentation. I have a small question. As of now, we have these services even in our kiosks, like or in mobile. Yes, all those services will be value-added services. Like we need to utilize the data services as well. So in case if you implement this technology or smart metering system, does the user need to pay anything extra, or the network charges are included with that or no.
Okay.
Is that clear?
I don't think I got your question clear about the user, but you know, remind me to mention something that I forget to share it with all of you. Because let me just share this with you, and I hope it's going to answer what you have asked. And it's not, we can repeat again. But because I promised that I'm going to speak about the funding model, and one of the funding model that we are doing here is that we are using, one of the model as put model. So it's like a build, operate, own, and transfer. So we provide the data for the, for example, we invest by ourselves in all the technology. We don't let our partner to pay at the beginning. So we invest on the technology and the infrastructure and everything. Then as soon as we start the project, we, charge the service provider for each bill. So we take our, investment through the bills and then share it with the provider. So it is like, extra charge for the service provider. So I don't think it's for the consumers. So we take our service payment by each data we read it for the service providers. I hope that answered your question or not. So this is just one of the models that we are following here. Because sometimes, as I said, government is not ready to invest on technology. So the private sector, they have to be the pioneer. They say we can do it, so let us do it. So when it comes to the funding model, you can hear different models. For example, the partnership, the PPP model. But for us, we do it paying for each service. We provide you the data for example, this smart metering. We get, for example, let me say, for example, 200 basis for each one. So we do that as contract till we get our money back almost for a contract, for example, like 8 years or 10 years. It depends on how much it will take from us in order to get, our, investment. And as soon as we get our investment, then we, take all the systems and the data. And that's why when I say we are hosting, in the cloud, so it will be easily transferred to the companies who are our partners. I hope it's clear.
Yes, ma'am. Got it. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? Dr. Ganisium is still there? Okay, Mr. Abdul Wahid. Nobody. I have a question as well. With this smart cities tools and devices you are going to, implement it with the customers. Is there any awareness program how these devices are going to be beneficial for them? Because if they just come and change it without me knowing how these devices are going to benefit me, or it's only benefiting the companies. And so is there any awareness programs also to make consumers aware of these?
Well, we can, usually, as the National Energy Center, we do that one by one. For example, if anyone, interested in our solutions, or we want to approach them, so we'll do that program awareness for them, so we can tell them how this is going to improve their solution. Because sometimes, some companies, they want to implement this solution, but they don't know how to start. So we go to them and we try to do the analysis, because as I said, when it comes to the smart cities, we have first to see their challenges and what they want to solve on their organization or on their city. So based on that and the analysis that we are doing, we go and say, this is our program for you, and do that as one session for them so they can have a clear picture about it. But at a public level, we also conducted some programs, in the recent years. And inshallah, we're gonna definitely do more programs for any organization who are going to request that from us, because our vision is to be the leading smart city projects here in Oman. And
thank you. Thank you, Ms. Leila. Thanks. One more chance for Mr. Abdul Wahid. I don't know if he's still there. Mr. Abdul Wahid, are you still interested to ask your question? We are here or waiting for your question for the last couple of minutes. Okay. Okay, it means there is no more questions. Any attempt shows that he's there.
Whereas I think it's now we are done.
Yeah, yeah, okay. So at the end of this very, very interesting session, ask you all to join me to thank Ms. Leila Al-Hadrami for her interesting session on smart city development. Thank you, Ms. Leila. Thanks a lot. Have a nice day.
Thanks, Mahfouza, and it was really a pleasure to be among all of you, and I really hope that I have added something as value for all of you.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye. مع السلامة.